Hello and welcome to the Battle Systems tutorial video for the Dungeon Garrison. This is a really nice 2-sheet set and it's got some really cool things in there that really bring, you know, a nice section of your dungeon to life. There's a big kind of planning table with a big map on it. You've got archery targets and training dummies. There's like a bookcase workbench for repairing armor and things, a bunch of beds, a crate, a really unique and different weapons rack, and then a bunch of little crates and piles of gold and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, a lovely 2-sheet set. So what we'll do is we'll just get straight to it and show you how to put this together. Okay, so here it is. Let's open this up, see what's inside. We have 2 sheets inside. Dungeon Garrison Barracks, Dungeon Garrison Barracks 2. Both of these sheets are completely unique, so they're not repeats. And there's a lot going on in here. There are a few things on here, like the beds, there's 3 of. We're just going to assemble one of anything that there's a duplicate of course. Okay, ooh, I don't know where to start on this. Maybe we should start with this big table here. So it's called large table. I'm going to pop the large table off and we can stick that thing together. Okay, so here's the large table. Just a point of note, there's a couple little areas here to pop out to give that a little bit more of a kind of 3D detailed effect. Really simply, you've got this little cross piece that you're going to put together here, and that was simple. And then on one side you've got like a little stubby candle, on the other side you've got like a knife that's sticking in the table. You'll notice on here there's a little candle base. And what you can do is you can put that side into the candle base side and then have the other side where the knife is just sticking in the table. And that's it, that's done. You can glue that if you want, requires none. Then on here you've got this nice big map, like battle map if you like, and you've got a few little, just very gently just curl those up a little bit with some half cuts here. And what that does, that just gives it this nice little 3D look, and you can put that on the table. Also, you'll find a whole bunch of little scatter items, like the little dagger there, and these little kind of pot carriers which you can stack up. We have like a magnifying glass for those more intricate parts of the map, and another little pot thing here, and some little parchment which you can do like here. And what you can do is you can, or what I tend to do is I would then glue all these pieces to the top of that map in a cool kind of looking way, and you could have like the dagger off to one side on the table here if you wanted to. And then once you've done that, you can either choose to have the map on the table or have the table off and put something else on it. That's a really great thing to do, and I think with me I just actually then glued the map down as well, so I just got this unique part. But yeah, really super, makes a great centerpiece to your garrison, as it were. So I'll put that to one side. What else have we got here? Let's choose these archery targets, so I'll pop that off. Looks like we've got a couple of these, but I'll just do the one. There's a tiny little piece in here we need to pop out to add a little bit more 3D effect. And this is, again, is really simple. You've just got a little slot down the front here that this rests into, like so, and it makes this nice little archery target. Then you've got this piece here, which goes on here, and we'll just add a little glue, and it just makes the target a little bit more 3D. You could, of course, if you're happy with that, you could do that and then just stick those onto walls if you've got a bigger setup that you want to, with a bit of blue tack or something, if you've got a bit bigger setup, as it were. But I would just drop a little bit of glue on there. I'm going to line up the little cutout piece and drop that on there like so, and that's it, job done. Put that off to one side, that'll be dry in about 30 seconds, and you've got this really cool little archery target. There's a couple of those on there. What else have we got here? Let's put together one of these training dummies. So I'm going to pop all the little bits off to this. So with the training dummy, bit like the barrels, and if you've got some of our other sets, you've got these little half cuts which we're going to bend round here like so, and you'll note that that then fits into here like so, and if you want it to stay in even better, you can turn this so it's stamped side down, and that'll hold on to that even better. And then for the training dummy part, you've simply got these two areas which slot together like so to make this little doodah, and then what you can do is you can then slot this into here, and the tension of this pushing this part out then holds that all in place. And again, that doesn't require any glue. That's really cool, but you could totally just glue this little bit on the outside and just glue the various bits in there so it's a little bit more sturdy. There's two of those in the set, so you can assemble both of those. What should we have a look at next? I think we should tackle this this big kind of shelving unit. Okay, so I believe I've got all the parts to the shelving here. We've got two sides, we've got a back part, we've got a main workbench area. There's three shelves, one with like a long stick coming out the side, that's going to be at the top. Then I've got some kind of scatter items which are going to kind of, there's the base to the candle here and some scatter items. It's going to really kind of just add some 3D effect and some interesting nuance to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply slot the two sides in here on this side like that, and then we're going to put this one over here like so, and that creates the two sides. Then we've got like a bottom part of a bench here, the main workstation if you like, and you'll see there's a little half cotton here because it's got some cloth that's going to kind of wrap down again, and this will just help to give that 3D illusion. And we're going to slot this into the very bottom slots of here like so. And you'll see that it creates this nice little bit here. There's also this little candle piece here which pops on here and makes the candle that little bit more 3D, which is great. And then very simply, we've got three little shelves. And what we want to do with these shelves is, well, we know that this one with the long bar is going to go at the top. Okay, so we'd be able to slot that one in the top like so. Okay, so that's the top one. And then you've got a couple of extras. Now, with these ones, you've got two little slots in here, and you've got like a little metal piece on, as it were. Now I'm looking at this, and one of these slots is a little bit thin, so I'm just going to open it up with my side cutters just to make a little cut here. Yep, happy with that. Okay, so we're going to pop the one with the little slots in it up here first, and we're going to slot this into the shelf like so, and then the one that's got this little metal base plate on it, we're going to pop into the other side, into the last shelving area, so I'll pop that in there. And this is basically the construction of the shelf done. But what we want to do, we want to dress it up a little bit. And what these little slots are for, it's so that you can kind of put, there's like these little daggers and things that you can put in here, so it looks like, you know, someone's working on the little bits. This one's quite a tight slot, so because I've widened it, that'll fit in there nice and easily. This one here is a little bit of a looser slot, so I might want to glue that in, but it's kind of pushing on the top there, so that's quite happy with that. But there's some couple of 3D details here as well, which I would probably glue on here. It's just extra 3D items to put on the desk to really make it, raise it up. And then what you've got here, you've got like a finished, where they've obviously mended some chainmail armor finished on the top, and you can hang that on the side of there. And that creates your little workbench, as it were, which is really cool. So we'll pop that off to one side. What else have we got? We've We've done the chaining dummies. We've got a lot of scatter on here. We've done this. We'll come back to the scatter items. Okay, beds. There's 3 beds I can see on here. So 2 with like green covers and a white cover one. And I'll just pop one of these off to show you how those work. Okay, so if you've got the village set or any of the sets come with the beds, these pretty much assemble the same. There's a tiny little piece in here we need to remove so that we've got some access to slot. And we've got some half cuts, so we've got one here next to this candle, and this becomes the bottom of the bed, or the foot of the bed, is that right? I'm not sure. Then a couple of half cuts here, and you can already see the structure of the bed coming together. This little nodule here is going to slot into this little hole here, but before we do that, we're going to kind of locate it, and then we're going to pop these little tabs here into here, and as we do that, you'll see that this starts to locate a little bit firmly into the back, and then we can grab this here and just push it back a little bit so there's less gapping at the top of here, and you can see here we've got this little bed construction. Last thing we need to do is there's a little pillar on here which just sits on there, and like a lot of things, I would often just, because I'm not going to be taking the bed apart, I would often grab some glue, put a little dab on there, and then I'll locate that pillow in here, a very slight angle for effect, and there you go. There's your cool little bed with a little candle at the foot of the bed. There's 3 of those on here, but we only need to assemble one. And then next to that, we have got various different crates, and we've got like medium crate, large crate. So I'm just going to grab one of these little crates and I'm going to put it together so you can see, but they all, you'll see there's various ones across the sheets. They all assemble in exactly the same way. So I'm going to grab just one of these and just assemble it for you. And you'll note in here to create the handles, you have to pop these little tiny bits out here, and again, there's no kind of white card on these little slot out bits, so I'll tend to keep those and put them somewhere into a little baggie. And again, these are really simple. You're literally just going to slot the sides into the little slots like this. Those go in here like so. And then again, popping these in here. With the smaller items like this, I find it's kind of important aesthetically to make sure that you've got the stamp side of the items facing outwards. And what I mean by that is that you can clearly see, it might be difficult to see on camera, but you can clearly see here that this is the side that this has been stamped, and this is the side that has not been stamped, and it curves the card very slightly. And so when these curved edges are on the outside of smaller items like this, everything aesthetically just curves into the middle, and it really takes that illusion of cardboard and just, you know, makes it 100 times better. Once you've got that in, you've got this little base here which we're just going to put in the bottom, and that's it. That's your little crate, and you can fill it with doodahs and whatever else you want to put in there. Just like any of our other crates, if you want to, you can totally just run a little bit of glue around the bottom there, and then you just pop that in, and jobs are good, and it's ready to go. So those are the little crates, of which there are many on these sheets, but that's how you put those together. Okay, what else have we got on here? We've got like to go with our battle table and all of our planning, we've also got like a wall map, which is going to kind of add some 3D effect to your walls. So I'm going to take this off, anything that says wall map on it. This is a super simple item to put together, and I would basically just slot this in the top of here, and I'm going to take this one, slot this into the top of here, and what you're left with is these 2 little hooks on here. So when you've got a dungeon wall, you can locate those on there, and that creates this nice kind of wall hanging, as it were. Now what you can do then is you can grab your map and you can just either glue that on there so it's permanently there, which is fine, or you can always use a little bit of blue tack if you like. Well, sometimes I want a map on there, sometimes I might want to, you know, hang some weapons on there or something like that. It's entirely up to you. For convenience, I tend to just drop a little bit of glue on there and make sure that that just stays on there. So we can literally just do that. Drop this on here, like so. And there you go. Well, I should leave it a little bit longer. Obviously you'll take much more care than me. Okay, and there you go, that's on there, and this is that kind of cool little wall map. If you don't want anything on it, you can also just take this off, turn it round, once you've got that map on there as well, and then you can just re-slot it on the wall and have it empty anyway. So you can have it reversible if that's what you want to do. Okay, I'll just put that to one side. What have we got? I think we'll deal with the, we've got this really nice weapon rack here. That's a little bit more difficult to put together, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to avoid it, and I'm going to handle this crate here, which is one of my favourite items. Love the crates. Large storage crate's called, so I'm just going to pop all the bits off. This is very much like any other crate that we've got in a set. It's aesthetically a little bit more pleasing. And again, keeping the stamped sides out, very easy to do with this because the inside of this has got a texture to it. That allows you to know what is the stamp side and what's the inside, as it were. So keeping all the blue textures inside, we're going to just slot this together like we do with any kind of crate or tomb that we've got from our various sets. So I'm going to do that now. So once I've got that together like that, I'm just going to pinch the insides of these long sides together there so that we've got something to hold on to, and then I'm going to drop that in here and we slot that down, and that creates the base. Then without even using this bit at all, we've got this nice little lid that just sits on the top, and it kind of stays in place because of the little corner pieces that are created by here. That's really cool. What we can do, we can make it stay in place even more securely by gluing this exactly onto here, and it creates a little lip that just sits inside. And in this case, just so I can show you, I'll also glue the base in here. So I'm going to glue the base in first. Remembering to keep the blue side up so you have this nice kind of, you know, cloth lined large crate, as it were. Let's leave this up this way, and while this is drying, I'm going to locate this as centrally as I can on here. So I'm going to turn this towards me so I can just see this a little bit better. Okay, like so. And then what you're left with this and the little crate lid that goes on top, which now actually snaps into place so that you can put it on and take it off. You've got a nice little snap there, just take that on and off. Okay, so I'll leave that off to one side to fully dry, as it were. Absolutely love this crate. You pen this on the edges and things like that, and you know, you can't tell that it's cardboard. So I'll pop that over here. What have we got left? We've done the beds. We've got well, we've got a latrine. So I'm gonna pop this out here. And the latrine's got these two little holes here, which you need to pop out. Otherwise, there's nowhere for the unmentionable waste product to go. And then we've got this here. So what we're going to do, we're going to just drop this like brace part in over here, like so, to create this. And then the latrine just locates into these little slot areas here. Just put it on there. And this creates that little latrine. And it's got these two little bulbous bits here. And what these are for we bring back in our wall over here, is these locate at the bottom of a wall, so you can put it in here like so, so that your latrine can, if you like, have a back to it. And there you go, that's your little latrine. And again, you can glue this item together. Now, I haven't dealt with the scatter yet, but there's lots of little scatter items across here that you like, what we put on top of the table and things like that. What I do like to do is I like to take one of these little pieces of parchment. I like to glue one on here, maybe a couple piled up, just so that these guys have got something to read while they're on the job, as it were. Okay, so I'll pop that to one side, but yeah, drop a glue on there. We'll just keep that in place. I think the only thing we've got left now to deal with is the weapon rack. We have weapon racks. If you've got a dungeon set and some of the other terrain sets, we've got plenty of weapon racks. They're really cool. This one is just one that's just, you know, it's bigger, it's better, it's like the bee's knees of weapons racks, which is probably why it's in the Garrison in the first place, under lock and key. So I'm going to pop out all the parts of the weapon rack. Okay, so just like our other weapon racks that we've done, if you've assembled one of these before from our other sets, it's exactly the same process. This is obviously aesthetically different slightly. So we've got a half cut across here. It's quite a long half cut, so we need to be careful when we're moving this like so. And then we've got two sides and a top piece. So we're going to slot the two sides here. You'll notice one of the sides has got one of these little nodules, a bit like a latrine, that'll help it kind of connect into a wall if you don't want it freestanding. Okay, so I'm going to pop one on that side. And you'll notice when you put this in that it feels like it's not going to stay in place. That's fine, don't worry, because when you put this in, it's going to brace it up against these parts here. Then we're going to drop this on here, and that's your two sides. And then, because we've got this big axe in the way, we're going to come inside this axe for the first slot, pop that one in, and then, as promised, as we put this in here, this will push this out into place. I'm going to pop that across here. It's a nice tight fit, so this is all going to stay together. And again, you can glue this in place if you want to. For me, I'm quite happy with this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to end up gluing all the weapons on it anyway. So for me, I don't think it's going to make any difference by the time I've glued all the weapons on. But by all means, once you've got it assembled, you put it back together, drop a little glue on it. I'm very happy with this. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to decide what weapons, I've got more weapons than I need, am I going to put onto this rack. And I'm going to just start gluing into place various weapons along the rack. I'll probably put some, you know, a couple of bows in there as well, because we do have, you know, these cool little targets as well, so I might put a couple of them. You've got more weapons than you have rack space, so the rest can just be left in your dungeon scattered around. Yeah, I'll speed this bit up, but I'm just basically going to just be gluing these into place. So if you've got a sword, you tend to just drop a little bit of glue in the top of one of these, and a dab on the underside of the blade, and that'll hold that in place. With the bows, I would just put literally a drop of glue into each of these little curvatures, and then make sure that anything that's touching the ground, that you've got the weapon rack actually on the ground, so that you're not gluing it too far down, so that when you put it down it's all wobbly because you've glued the bow down too hard. And it'll be the same with these as well. I'll just put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here, then I'll stand this nice and firm, and I'll put it this way, or if you want blade up, you could put it that way. I prefer it the other way around. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to just choose some of these weapons and glue this into place. Okay, so there you go. That's all the items, weapons glued into space, into place, should I say. I've still got a bow, and I've got like a warhammer and a long thing and another sword here. Yeah, I'm quite happy with all of those, so I'd pop that off to one side to let that fully dry. And then the only other thing that you're left with here is, you know, various bits of scatter, as it were. So there's another little weapon here, for example. The rest of this are your beds and your crates that I've already showed you how to assemble. We've got little piles of gold, so we can pop those off, boop, like so. And we've got a whole bunch of shields, and we've still got a little bit of parchment there. And another shield. Yeah, I thought it might be something. So what you've got with this, you've got little piles of gold. I like to, you know, maybe stack a couple of those. So you do that, and you drop a little drop of glue on here. If you don't want it to be permanent, you can always just use a little blob of blue tack. It'll just stay there almost forever until you decide to take it off. But a little bit of glue like that does the job, and you can pile that up higher if you want, like a couple of piles of gold. And then you've got lots of little shields and various little bits that you can, you know, drop things, you know, put some knives and a couple of shields into, you know, some cargo crates or whatever, with a little knife and the parchment if you like. Once I've built up my dungeon, what I like to do is I like to then, you know, take a little bit of blue tack and just have things like the shields just onto the wall like that. And just place some shields onto the wall and things like that. So these are just scatter. Do what you will with them. When we've got a little bit of space left on the sheet, we just don't want to waste it, so we put on as much as we possibly can. But yeah, that's all of the dungeon things. I'll just bring them back in here for you. Okay, so that's all the cool things assembled, and remember that this isn't all of it. We've still got another 2 beds, and we've still got another archery target and another training dummy, and a whole bunch of, you know, these little crates. This is a medium-sized one. There's a slightly shorter one as well. So lots and lots on this set. Yeah, another cool little build. Really happy with these.